Slating.
I am in ear. I got you, Ed. Thank you.
Audience of one. Keep it down.
Kissing cousins.
Quiet on the floor, please.
Good evening. Glad to have you joining us for Red Barn Radio. I'm Bradford Becker. We continue in the 22nd season of Red Barn Radio, and we welcome you to show number 838 tonight. How about that? And our program this evening is with Sugarcane Jane, otherwise known as Anthony Crawford and Savana Lee. They are from Loxley, Alabama, and have been sweethearts of Americana for over a decade. Between them, they've amassed a rich musical resume, with their talents being recruited by such notables as Neil Young, Steve Winwood, and Dwight Yoakam. The music Anthony and Savana make together is simple, it's direct, it's rooted in country and rock, and anchored by their beautiful harmonies. Welcome Savana Lee and Anthony Crawford, Sugarcane Jane, to Red Barn Radio.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
There we were, two young dreamers, stepping into a cold, cold world, leaving comfort of sheltered youth, lonely boy, scared girl, lonely boy, scared girl. You wanted me, I wanted freedom, and I thought you were the key to escape the cold, cold world of a frightened little girl. Lord, I surrender to the broken heart mender. Fan the flames of our youth. Build a fire from the embers. Build a fire from the embers. There we were, two warm bodies in a cold, cold bed, trying to find in our hungry hearts the love we kept in our heads, the love we kept in our heads. Here we are, years later, facing the cold, hard truth that love hasn't gone the way we thought it would in the innocence of our youth, in the innocence of our youth. Lord, I surrender to the broken heart mender. Fan the flames of our youth. Build a fire from the embers. Build a fire from the embers. All right. Good night.
Thank you very much.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Savana Lee and Anthony Crawford have been making great music for many years. The last decade has marked a great change for both of these artists. Anthony moved from Nashville, where he'd settled smartly to play his role as a much-in-demand session player and road warrior, back to his home region in Alabama. Savana, who co-owned and managed a legendary vintage analog studio in Nashville called Deepfield Studio, did some recording of her own and then met Anthony. They did some singing together and soon discovered that the harmony they experienced together transcended even music and was worth taking to heart. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight learning more about their Gulf Coast hometown in Alabama and the range of collaborations and experiences these veteran players have undertaken over the years. And speaking of collaborations, accompanying Sugarcane Jane tonight is Birmingham singer-songwriter Loxley Lee. Loxley Lee is not just a singer and songwriter with lots to say, but she's also a multi-instrumentalist, loved by many in her region and elsewhere. I'm glad to say that Loxley will be playing some of her songs during the program as well. Welcome to Red Barn Radio's Evening of Music and Conversation with Sugarcane Jane and Loxley Lee.
Brad, thank you very much. All right, we're going to get the party started here with a song that I wrote. I think I was fresh off the road with Dwight Yoakam, and I had a record deal, and I think things went south, and so I thought that this song called "Put It on Ice" was what I was gonna do with my record deal. So that's how that went. All right. No one's accusing me of working too much and my prospects looking slim. I was chasing the light at the end of the tunnel when it jumped up and got me again. Got me again. Yes, it got me again. I don't mean to shoot myself in the foot, but somehow I just can't resist to be so close yet so far away. I am so tired of this, so tired of this. I am so tired of this. Smoke and mirrors fade into nothing, and nothing is ever what it seems. Examining the inner workings of my love for life, and no, she's not an easy read. She's not an easy read. I've got this one friend, this one in particular, sometimes I turn to for advice. But now that I have placed him in cement shoes, I better turn it up or put it on ice. I better put it on ice. Turn it up or put it on ice. Now one would think that one would know after so many years what happens when you push red buttons. And to have been given so many chances to walk away just like it was nothing, just like nothing. Walk away just like it was nothing. No one's accusing me of working too much and my prospects looking slim. I was chasing the light at the end of the tunnel when it jumped up and got me again. Baby, you know,
You tricked me, didn't you?
this is where the fight breaks out.
Well, he told us to introduce the song first of all, so let's
Is that
just.
what happened?
I
Well, we're
think
going to
that's-
introduce this song for you. Fight, fight,
It's coming,
fight,
you
fight.
guys. If okay.
Don't hit me again, Mama. All right, well, we're normally not introducing our songs, but I'll tell you what, this song is called The Candle, and I had me a religious experience one night, and I wrote this song like in 5 minutes. I don't think I wrote it, but something wrote it. It's called The Candle. You want to do this song with me?
I do.
Let's count it out and not fight anymore, okay? I love you, baby. 1, 2, 3. In my ears, I hear burning. In my heart, I feel a peace. And I have turned my attention towards the sky. And now my soul can rest. No time, no place better than now. Touch your water to my face. I wanna run away with you. Take me away from this world. I know that you know where the end of the rainbow is, and what we have is more than gold. I have a candle burning, and you're all in this room, and I can feel your spirit. I can feel you in my veins. No time, no place better than now. Touch your water to my face. I wanna run away with you. Take me away from this world. I know that you know where the end of the rainbow is, and what we have is more than gold. What we have is more than gold. I wanna I wanna Yeah, nice job.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Good,
Thank
good,
you.
good,
Thank you
good.
for starting after you count that off.
Hey, we have to start over when it goes like that. You know that, right?
I know it.
I
I know
know,
it. But
I
this is such a casual, just comfortable feel, Red Barn Radio. I'm just really loving it. Aren't you? In this room.
I love it. Love
the
the very first
floors,
moment I walked into this place. I knew it.
Yeah.
I Let's do a Southern State of Mind. Do you want to do that with me?
Right, that's right. The Southern State of Mind, we released that on Dirt Road's End album. Absolutely, it's one of my favorites.
Good, baby. Let's do it. Now where I long to be is underneath that live oak tree, sipping cool iced tea, writing my poetry, where the gentle breeze sweetens my memories. That's the me that you will find in my southern state of mind. Na 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 na. Na, na, na. Cotton fields so white, glowing in the pale moonlight, underneath the sky, on a sultry August night, like a mystery, mystically she waits for me, pieces of what I find in my southern state of mind. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na.
On the front porch swing, old familiar songs we sing, sharing the night with the first love of my life. Through the tears I see, it's all coming back to me, precious, sweet, and kind, my southern state of mind. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. Where I long to be is underneath that live oak tree, sipping cool iced tea, writing my poetry, and where the gentle breeze sweetens my memories. That's the me that you will find in my southern state of mind. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, Yeah, let me get this other guitar out for you. Thank y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. So nice to be here. The cool air is just invigorating, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you guys like the cool air? We're from South Alabama, so believe it or not, it got to -17 last winter in Alabama, South Alabama. Can you believe that? I thought I was going to be a musician / gardener, but I gave up after that. I was like, no, I cannot do this. I'm just going to sing and play. How about that?
Here's a song called Up to the Sky. You ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. 17 horses and 23 men lassoed the moon while riding on the wind. Calling all cars, there's this heart in distress. Started late last night and it's still in a mess. 13 floors, still getting higher. Living in hopes that it never lets me down. Don't let it down. On the hills of tomorrow, dreams burn so bright. Dreams of a girl standing alone in the night. Under the sun where you don't see the sky. Some live good and some barely get by. 13 floors, still getting higher. Living in hopes that it never lets me down. Oh, to the sky. High. It's out of control down here, man. Up to the sky. High. And everybody just thinks it's okay. Now, roll the dice and place it on your luck. Who's that man sending you up? Life in the city is so low and so high. There for the taking of what it provides. Faces of stone with their eyes made of glass. Rivers of people and them moving so fast. 13 floors, still getting higher. Living in hopes that it never lets me down. Oh, to the sky. High. It's out of control down here, man. Up to the sky. High. And everybody just thinks it's okay. Up to the sky. High. It's out of control down here, man. Up to the sky. High. Everybody just thinks it's okay. And everybody just thinks it's okay. And everybody just thinks it's okay.
Can't just take a deep breath, it's too much.
Oh, yeah.
Right on.
All right. Well, this tight and high energy folk music you're listening to on Red Barn Radio tonight comes from Savana Lee and Anthony Crawford. They call themselves Sugarcane Jane. And wow, great stuff.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah.
you.
So Anthony and Savana have been doing a lot of stuff over the last 13 years, not the least of which is bringing up 3 kids. I think maybe 2 of whom are probably in middle school now, huh? Is that right?
Only one in middle school.
1 in middle?
Yep, 2 in elementary.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a lot of work, and you guys have been doing it. But you've also continued with your music, which is what a gift to your kids for them to see you guys continuing and not giving them at any point in time the impression that they were the only important thing in your life. And I mean that. You know, certainly the most important, right? But
Absolutely.
right. But so many parents have their children and forget who they are as human beings and what their needs are, and then their kids miss out on seeing their parents wrapped in something like of their own, you know.
It's interesting that you say that because Savannah and I went and visited Neil Young on his bus in Mobile when he played the Sanger Theater, and we had our first child, Loretta, we took her down to see Neil on the bus, and we went on there, and first thing he did was, most people were like, "Oh, she's beautiful." He just looked at us and goes, "Don't quit what you're doing." I mean, it's like, oh, all right, right on. She's beautiful.
He's right, though.
But
he's right.
We keep our music going because that's what got us together, and I think that our kids are musical, and so we keep that fire burning for sure.
Yeah, tell me about the musicality that you're already seeing in your kids. So Loretta is the oldest, right? She's the 13-year-old.
Yeah.
She's the oldest.
Okay, and then Levon and Dusty.
Levon.
Levon, sorry. Yes.
That's okay.
Well, that's okay. Tell you what, Loretta wrote a song. Was it If I Was
a Bird?
If I Was a Bird, and she wrote the lyrics and everything. I was really amazed at this song, and it's.
She was playing the ukulele and
played
everything.
the ukulele, and this was when she was about 7 years old.
She's maybe 8 years old.
Something
I
like
think,
that.
something.
But yeah, she's
And
musical.
She's been singing in the school choir and the church choir, so she loves to sing. I wish she was playing guitar or the ukulele a little more, and she did take some violin as well. But the kids, they're into so many different things.
Yeah.
Right now she's like obsessed with horses, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so she's doing the English writing thing, and she's got the little one doing it as well. So and then Levon, he's just kind of always been like a natural piano player. He could just like make notes on it, to go over to it and just press some buttons and it sounds good. And I don't know how he does that, but he obviously got Anthony's genes there.
How old is Levon?
He's 11 now.
11.
Okay, so have you put Levon in any lessons at all?
Well,
We did put him in some lessons, and he learned how to play. Oddly, he goes for the
Jurassic
Park theme song.
Star Wars,
it's like, okay,
and Spider-Man,
there you go.
I think.
We have no influence on them at all. And people say, "Oh, I bet they love it when y'all play around the house." It's like we have very rarely play around the house because they won't let us. They are always talking and doing other things, but deep down, they're in the room singing. And Levon wound up learning how to play the piano. He did take some lessons, but I think that he is right now distracted by loving basketball. He loves Steph Curry. So, I mean, he's and Dusty, our youngest daughter, is she's in her room just singing all the time and playing with her toys, and she's a different little bird. So we just love all of them and for who they
Levon
are.
wrote a song with you as well.
He did.
Called Every Little Thing. And so Levon and Loretta's songs are out there on the internet, iTunes or YouTube and all that. Yeah,
Come on.
they got their singles out there.
Oh, yeah, we're living off of them right now.
Oh, good.
I've been trying
the
to
way
get
it
them
should
to
be.
do a Christmas album for years, and I really want to capture when they have those little voices still. So we just
But
got
they
to
want
make
to
it
do
happen.
the Christmas songs in minor keys.
No,
like,
we want to do them in minor
yeah.
keys. They
we
don't
wish
know.
you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Anyway.
We
Well,
did
I
that.
was going to ask you guys if you're pushy with your kids, and you already answered that question. It sounds like you're really driving them like crazy into craziness.
Driving them from place to place. Yes.
We don't push music on them at all.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just let them do what they want to do.
So tell me, when you think about the kind of teachers you'd want for your kids, how would you like those teachers to work with your kids? If you were to, I had such a rotten experience myself as a little kid with lessons, and so when it came time for my kids to express interest in music, I couldn't pick a teacher.
Oh, well, that
Did eventually.
I will say, for me personally, I think just when teachers just let you be yourself and find out what you're interested in, and then let you do that and just help you with it. And that's what Levon's teacher did with the piano. He didn't start out playing like
There was
Kumbaya like
no
everybody
method.
else.
It wasn't a method teaching.
No,
it
he
was,
came in there and he said, I want to learn how to play Jurassic Park. And he had, and so that's what the teacher let him do. And he sure enough did it, so, and I think, that's how when I started playing guitar, I just I couldn't do the regular guitar lesson stuff, so I just found a song that I liked and I learned how to play that song. And it just really keeps your interest that way. So
That's what I love so much about old time music, is that kids who are reared in old time and to some extent bluegrass as well, that from the time they pick up an instrument, the idea is not like, okay, let's teach you the chords and let's teach you the fretboard. It's let's teach you a song.
exactly.
It's like, let's start playing together as soon as possible, and those kids end up loving music.
Absolutely.
That's the secret.
I just have always loved picking up things certain people learn in different ways. I just
That's right.
I would just listen to what I wanted to play. Bluegrass music, I remember seeing Mark O'Connor at a bluegrass festival back when he was 14 years old, and it was jaw-dropping, his talent, and it made me realize that I was going to be focusing on rhythm for somebody like that, because he was so great. And but I just loved the acoustic guitar, and I would watch Glenn Campbell all the time. He was a great guitarist. Roy Clark.
You're talking about when you were
When I was a
wee
kid.
one. Yeah,
when
right.
I was a kid, all those people that were on TV at the time, they were great players, and so even on the Lawrence Welk show, there was a guy named Neil Levang that could just play anything. I mean,
play guitar,
he was fantastic. Yeah, he was
like
great.
super swing style.
He could do
player,
anything.
jazz, everything.
All of it. Yeah. So I'm sure he knew how to read music and all that, but I don't know. I just couldn't. I don't know. I wasn't into that part of it.
It's like you say, everybody learns different ways, and it's not to suggest that a kid who learns through the Suzuki method is gonna hate music.
Yeah.
It's just that the focus there is more on sort of technical proficiency versus a love of the sound.
Well, to answer your
right.
question honestly, if the teacher was close to the house, I don't care how they teach them. I just don't have to drive them across town.
Depends how close
We
they
got
are to us.
Loretta is in love with horses. Loretta and Dusty, and we drive them like way
About 30
far away.
miles,
Yeah, but-
there and back.
But we're just letting them be figured it out themselves.
Yeah, good. Well, we're talking about you and your kids. Now, what about you going back to you as a kid? You play so many different instruments, Anthony, more than I think I could count on maybe even two hands. I don't know. But what was your youth like to cultivate that kind of interest in music yourself?
Well, I could start out by saying that I made terrible grades because I played the guitar all the time. And my dad has a picture of me walking across the street. There was somehow a picture of the elementary
Crosswalk.
the crosswalk where there was a guy out there with a flag holding the traffic, and the kids were walking, and they all had books and stuff, and I was just like walking across. I didn't have nothing in my hands. My dad had a caption that said, "Notice Crawford has no books," because I knew I wasn't going to be looking at them at all. I was going to be playing my guitar at home, and I would fall asleep every night playing my guitar, and
Wow.
I just fell in love with it so hard and never have lost that feeling for it.
So, and Anthony, then, now nowadays parents are saying, put down that damn iPad. Were your parents saying, parents saying,
They never did.
put down that guitar and pick up a book?
No. Well,
Read a little bit, will you?
Maybe. Hey, I think I read like Jonathan Livingston Seagull or something for him. It was a short book, but
That's inspiring.
yeah,
right.
it's still good. But
Good material.
it was short and had some pictures in it. But I love picture books, still do. But honestly, I fell in love with the guitar, and then I moved on to the mandolin, and then just the violin and pedal steel, all the things that just make beautiful vibration. And I use the knowledge that I have on this and apply it to that. I don't claim to really know my way around on any of them, but I love to use them in the studio, and I love producing
And
music.
he somehow ended up like playing violin at Royal Albert Hall with Steve Winwood on Back in the High Life.
Huh?
So he did do that, and that amazes me that he says he doesn't. He just he'll tell people, I don't know really what I'm doing. It's like, right, okay,
Yeah,
well
right.
there's this video out there. I think you do.
Well,
You're
okay.
very modest.
Well,
but
thank you.
Yeah, really. Yeah, and that's a lot of different instruments. Of course, the violin and mandolin related, I guess, and
That's right,
and
the
at least in
tuning's
their
the
tunings.
same.
But yeah, I mean, bowing versus picking versus, versus pedal steel, which is a whole different
That's
animal.
right. And I mean, I've got a good friend of mine, Pete Nice, that I think that he spent the night over at my house one time, and he slept in the studio underneath the pedal steel. He tells the story that he just, for some reason, I think the pedal steel just was something that he fell in love with, and he became like a great pedal steel player. And so I'm proud to say that my love for it inspired him, which that's what music does. It inspires other people to do things. So that was a good moment for me.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, we've talked a lot to you tonight.
Okay.
I like that you.
I'm
I
out
want
of
to talk
here.
with Savannah too. No, stick around. But Savannah, I'd like to hear you talk a little bit about your youth and music. And you're a singer, a beautiful singer.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Well, I
love the
grew
way you
up.
play bass, too.
Thank you. I grew up, and my parents were educators, and so there wasn't a lot of. They didn't know how to play any instruments, but my next door neighbor played piano, and they got me taking piano lessons as a young child. So I did get into music that way, and I was always a singer. I loved Annie when I was little, and I wasn't afraid to go out and sing in front of, my whole K through 12. I think I did that, and I just had a love for music at an early age, and then that led me into other things, guitar, bass, and whatnot. Anthony's got me playing snare drum sometimes and different instruments. He introduced me to the bass like a few years ago, so. I do not claim to be a bass player, but as long as I can make him happy and I don't get that look when I'm playing, good.
What does that look like, Anthony? What kind of look is she talking about?
Let's see.
Yeah.
It's slow motion.
It is a look.
But I don't go to that look anymore. I mean, I've been broken from giving the look.
I learned how to play bass on stage. He gave me a 1-hour lesson, and then we went out and played a gig. So I did have to make some mistakes, obviously, to get where I am now. And, still probably will make a few, hopefully not too many tonight. But, yeah, you have to when you're on stage. It's probably the best way to learn. It's like learning a foreign language. If you actually just immerse yourself into that in the culture, you will pick it up quicker. And I guess that's the same with musical instruments. So
yeah, and as long as and if you're in the company of people who encourage you and welcome you to, take chances, make mistakes, not be afraid of them, right?
that is correct. In fact, the last bass player that we had, which we had to let go when we had our third child because we couldn't afford the babysitting, but he said that playing with Anthony was like having an Olympic athlete as a jogging partner. And I thought that was a pretty good analogy.
I like that.
I did too. It's pretty accurate.
Yeah, sounds challenging.
It's challenging, yes.
I don't even know what it means, but I
Well,
like it.
it means that he's awesome, and I just don't want to disappoint him because,
And you do not disappoint.
Thank you, babe. So far, this interview's going well.
It's going great.
Savannah, do you take care of your voice, sort of in a deliberate way? Do you do vocal exercises and use your voice correctly?
Well,
you seem to.
If you count yelling at my kids sometimes, then yes. But no.
Do you breathe before you yell, or
do I breathe? I try to. Yeah, I do.
Breathe
try to
into
take
your
like
yell.
10 deep breaths before I get to that point. No, I really don't. I don't do anything. I just. I think that if you have a natural ability to sing in tune, I think the secret is just to sing a lot and do it as much as you can, because the more you do it, I think you find your voice and you just build the muscles. You get stronger And that's just all there is to it. It's just that simple, really.
I think I agree with you. No, I do agree with you in part, but I also think that as we get older, you know, that the deliberate, intentional exercise and care becomes maybe a little more significant.
That may be true, but, you know, I'm still in my 20s, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, sure.
Obviously.
I'm in my 30s, so
Pardon me. Pardon me. Hey,
Well,
I
I'll
wonder.
let you know one day.
Yeah, okay. I wonder if you all could take a minute and introduce Lolly Lee, who you have brought with you on this tour. I had such a great time talking with Lolly before the program. I'd love to hear you talk about her.
let me just tell you about Lolly.
Could you
come
please
up here, Lolly?
step right up to the microphone there,
Let
Lolly?
me just tell
Lolly's
you something.
awesome.
Lolly and I go way back. I met Lolly years ago. She was, 15, 16, and I was, 19 or something, 20, 22, I don't know. But we were living in Birmingham, and she was playing music, and I don't really recall where the first show was, but I just recognized her as just an energy that was not going to be denied, and I just have always been an admirer of her talent, and she has a lot of people who love her, and so we did not communicate for decades. I went out on the road and just lived a different life, out there traveling, and just lost track of each other. And then I gave her a call a couple of years ago and wanted to work with her, and I never heard from her. And then about maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I get a call, and it's Lolly calling me back. It's like, all right, hey, Lolly. And
He's returning his call from 2 years
2
prior.
years later.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
2 years later, and she sent me these songs that she had written, and I was just so blown away at her songwriting that we decided that the three of us would make a recording. We have a recording studio, Admiral Bean Studio, down where we live, and Lolly was interested in coming down, and we started working together and realized that as our voices matched, and just as human beings, we just really have a lot of fun together. So who knows where it's going to take us in the future, but Lolly's is certainly a great talent.
And she's got a great album coming out in a few months, so super excited for her about that. And
We want to play a few for you.
from
All right.
Birmingham, Alabama, Lolly Lee.
And will you be accompanying?
We are going to accompany her,
All
if that's
right.
okay with you, Lolly.
Oh, let's see.
No, please.
Welcome, Lolly.
1, 2, 3.
Minnows, crickets, and ice. Minnows, crickets, and ice. Bait at a bootlegger's price. No charge for free advice. Rusty relics in the yard, arranged like modern art. Betty bakes with beans and lard, traditional avant-garde. Loving and living, sinning and repenting, in the free state of Winston. Larry's daily chore is to mind the family store. Summer, springtime, peace or war, he's the county's waving lord. He's waving and grinning, no whining, no bitching, in the free state of Winston. Free state. Firecrackers and frogs ignite. Let's run 'em over, it's a beautiful night. On the way to a rooster fight, by frantic, dismal lights, loving and living, sinning and repenting, meatballs, fried chicken, and Motor Street slum chitlins, and no whining, no bitching, in the free state of Winston.
Oh, man. Love that, Lolly. Let's see, what else we got going on?
Was she going to tell them? I think that that song has such an interesting story. Tell them a little bit about that.
Well, I'll give just you'll have to look the rest of it up. But in Alabama, Winston County, where I was living, when the state seceded from the Union, Winston County, they were like, this is a rich man's war. So they seceded from the state, and then they were just laughed at and just like, what are you, the free state of Winston, right? So they didn't get to secede, but they tried. And I loved my neighbors. I loved everybody up there. So.
Are you interested in playing, what is this one? Ave Maria?
Ave Maria?
Yeah. Well, there's a little story on that one.
Okay, quickly. So not far from Winston County is Coleman County, and there's a beautiful old, whatever it's called, and this priest, or he just did all these replica. Anyway, it's called the Ave Maria Grotto, and if you're ever in Alabama, please take some time and get to know it. So that's what it kind of got me started on this song, but part of it has nothing to do with the grotto, as you will hear.
1, 2, 1, 2, 2.
Trash bags crashed out in the VFW parking lots. Heather is a cash cow. You want more? Well, that's what she's got. A long
that's so much fun.
Yeah. Love that.
I am a nervous wreck. and
Don't
my
be,
mouth is
baby.
dry.
Lolly is, she's such an inspiration to me, and I think she would be to so many people, because she was like out in the scene and playing with all these great bands in Birmingham, Alabama, and just really had everything going for her. She got married and had kids, and sometimes when you do that, you know, you have to put things on the back burner for a while, and so that's what she did, and but
The
now
opposite of what they've done.
the opposite of what we've done, but you know, it's a wonderful thing to raise children and all of that. So, but here she is with her debut album coming out, and I'm so excited for her.
This is called Great Crusade, and it's about whatever you think it's about.
1, 2, 1, 2, 2.
Udella opens the door, rings the dinner bell. Coonhounds are howling, you can hear 'em all the way over to Slidell. Turks and choir boys cut short their honeymoon. Preacher says the battle will commence at noon. Ooh, sport your rifle, sharpen up your blade. There's room in the cellar for a convocation brigade. Gentlemen, start your engines. We got souls to save. Make it a great crusade. Fire up the furnace. It's hog killing time. Only thing not burning at Sloss is pig iron. Despite many dazzling Venetian victories, water gun warriors are blinded by the Watusi. Sport your rifle, sharpen up your blade. There's room in the cellar for a convocation brigade. Gentlemen, start your engines. We got souls to save. Make it a great crusade. Here we go. Sport your rifle, sharpen up your blade. We got room in the cellar for a convocation brigade. Yeah, we do. Gentlemen, start your engines. We got souls to save. Make it a great crusade.
All right.
Lolly
Thank
Lee.
you, and thank
Wow.
y'all for having me on. I
Wow.
appreciate it.
Lolly Lee, that was great.
So fantastic.
Thank you so much for playing for us.
Thank you, Lolly.
I'm gonna unplug now. You good?
There we go. Hey, folks, we've got lots more music and conversation with Sugarcane Jane. But I'd like to take a moment to remind listeners that Red Barn live streams, both tonight's and on any Wednesday, remain available online for you to view at your convenience, along with our audio stream, compliments of WGAD.net in Central New York. Hailing from the hills of West Virginia, drawing influence from the Texas songwriter greats Elliott Smith and Jason Isbell, Sean Benfield, next week's guest, blends his own pop sensibilities with classic country to create a unique sound that is distinct and at the same time familiar. In 22, Sean released the follow-up full-length Way of the World album. Spill Magazine gave it 4 stars out of 5. That's pretty good. Benfield is currently touring in support of Way of the World. Sean has performed on the Jerry Springer podcast. We will not hold that against him. And W.B. Walker's Old Soul radio show. He's also shared stages with a number of Red Barn Radio alums, from Marla McKinley and Josh Morningstar to Justin Wells. That's Sean Benfield, next week in studio and on Red Barn Radio's live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. And now back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We welcome you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the grand city of Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome back, Sugarcane Jane.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brad.
You ready to hear another song? Or, yeah, okay. Well, good. This is a song called How Do You Know? I'm losing my power of resistance, and I'm seeking again. All the answers are out there in the distance. I'm reeling them in. With hours of reading and wondering, with my ears to the wall, hoping that wisdom is coming and the truth of it all. How do you know when storms begin to gather? And how do you know if you make it through the night? And how do you know if your life will ever matter? You'll know when you get it right. Hours of reading. Now let me count. The mystics and prophets, they puzzle me. And then there is you. And you're welcome to go on and use me. Tell me what to do. 'Cause meanwhile I'm loving this journey, so just let me slide. The wheels of my life keep on turning, and I'm enjoying the ride. Now how do you know if you've reached the right conclusion? How do you know if you've stepped into the light? And how do you know through oh so much confusion? You'll know when you get it right. There are things in life better left unsaid, unknown, unread, or unheard. But the mysteries of the universe are hidden in the words. How do you know where you'll be tomorrow? And how do you know if you'll make it through the night? And how do you know how to handle sorrow? you'll know when you get it right. How do you know when storms begin to gather? And how do you know if you make it through the night? How do you know your life will ever matter? You'll know when you get it right. You'll know,
I love that one. Was that, that's a song that you've released before, right, Anthony? Is that on your... Radio Cafe? That's on your Radio Cafe, Anthony Crawford Radio Cafe album. I always tell everyone, Anthony, he has 400 or 500 songs, you know, that I know of, but we keep finding more in these like bags of DAT tapes and all this, and they're just little treasures, you know. And I only hope that we can just get them out into the world, you know. I see the songs that are out there, and I'm so proud of these songs. To, like, you know, it reminds me of Toy Story, and you know, all those toys that never got played with. The songs are like that to me, that are just sitting on this shelf, and it's a challenge and a joy to get them out to people, because I love them. They're Anthony's songs, and I'm just such a fan of his.
Thank you, baby. That's so beautiful. Thank you.
Well,
I'll drive.
I was just trying to like keep the time thing going.
All
Are
right.
you ready
Well,
to
okay.
play
Yeah,
yet?
I'm ready to play it. You know,
Okay.
this is a song that I one afternoon I went out to my studio and was listening through all the old tapes and found this song, and I wanted to play it for Savana. She had never heard it. So glad I found it. I call it On a Mission.
I thought this one was about me, though.
It is about
Okay.
you. All of them are. Woke up this morning, there was something I had to do. So I got on my horse and I went looking for a clue. Put my ear in the dirt, listening for a sound, tugging at my heart and I couldn't put it down. I was on a mission. I was heading in with an open mind, a lofty position. This is deja vu. We've been here before, and getting back with you. Now I remember what I'm here for. Now I'm calling all cars. There's this heart in distress. Started late last night and it's still in a mess. Dry tears, silent crying. She could have given up, but she's still trying. She's on a mission. She's going in with an open mind, a lofty position. This is deja vu. We've been here before, and getting back with you. Now I remember what I'm here for. Now, as strange as it may seem, I believe that was the way it was meant to be. The the ups and downs and the days that was somewhere in between. We made a promise, and it's the most important thing. The day we said we'd do and we exchanged rings, we started a mission. We headed in with an open mind, a lofted position. This is deja vu. We've been here before, getting back with you. And now I remember what I'm here for, on a mission. We're going in with an open mind, a lofted position. Now this is deja vu. We've been here before, getting back with you. And now I remember what I'm here for. Woke up this morning, there was something I had to do. So I got on my horse and I went looking for a clue. I put my ear in the dirt, listening for a sound, tugging at my heart and I couldn't put it down. Tugging at my heart and I couldn't put it down.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah! Rock and roll.
Well, that was sweet, wasn't it? I'm going to claim them. I'm going to claim all those love songs.
You know, I write for in the future. So, I mean, every one of them was about you.
I
You do
know that. I know that. But still, we're not signing up for Ancestry.com. You know, I'm a little worried that Anthony's seeds may be somewhere out in the world. I'm not sure what he's been up to. He's got a lot of love songs.
We're good. Hey,
This-
now,
oh, I'm-
gloves. This is where
See,
the
I'm
fight-
talking about my gardening seeds. Where?
Oh,
Gosh,
the
I can't
okra.
believe.
You're spunky tonight.
I know. Well, I can't help it. It's probably that coffee that I think that they made.
I usually am the one that says we're going to get a blood test to see who's the daddy of our kids. But I mean, you know.
That is not allowed for you to say. You
No,
can't
we're not
say
saying
that.
that. Cut that out of this show, okay? Too late. You know
Well,
what?
That's the spark that's going to get us to Bowling Green tonight.
Uh-oh. Well, we'll sign up for Ancestry.com.
And it's a perfect introductory to this song here,
What is it?
Red Flags Warning.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Here it is, right here.
You ready? All week turn me upside down, falling together apart. And that glow of what love was made of is blending itself to the dark, blending itself to the dark. Ordinarily, while upside down, once we would sail this storm. But the seas have calmed down, and togetherly, separately, walking our way back to town. Walking our way back to town. Heed the red flags warning. Danger has no smell. It's a hole of endless falling. Don't drink the water from that well. Outside the temperature is low, and so it is in your heart. Too many days left alone, time to ponder, finding a new place to start. Finding a new place to start. Heed the red flags warning. Has no smell. It's a hole of endless falling. Don't drink the water from that well. Don't drink the water from that well. Don't drink the water from that well.
You know, Anthony, it really is so much fun hearing you play. I mean, you take some pretty common chords and voice them in some pretty uncommon ways. It's just such a great sound and full sound.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have to say, the guitar is just so inspiring that I just.
That particular guitar.
This guitar itself, I have to say, it's a 1965 Hummingbird, and I saw it at a music store, and my father-in-law threw down on it with me, so it's kind of half his. But he was so nice, I just had to have it, and so I didn't have the money at the time, but I could not let it get away, and so he helped me get it. Thanks, Pop. But it's just so beautiful, and I think the spirit inside this guitar is incredible. And so, but I thank you very much. I put a lot of time into playing guitar, and there's a guy that everybody probably knows, Tony Rice. You know, he's got all that.
Yeah, like cross.
I mean, he was so great, and I'm you know, a fan of him and anybody else out there that can do that really super cool rhythm. Lead's all great and all, but if you've got a good right hand with the cross picking thing, that's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Well, you know, while you're talking about people you've learned from, excuse me, I wonder if you could talk about, and this is really a question for both of you. You know, if you could talk about some of the education you've received along the way as you've worked with people like you know, Steve Winwood and Dwight Yoakam, Neil Young. You know, I'm sure in the course of Dwight Yoakam, you probably met Pete Anderson, and
that's right.
I mean, all those people. So, can you talk some about sort of the I don't know if it's mentoring that they provided for you. They certainly didn't bring you on, you know, to learn from them or to be mentored. They hired you.
That's right.
And you know, but you certainly observed them and grew through that experience. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, certainly. I
Yeah.
think that's a great question, or you know, thing to talk about, because with, for instance, with Neil, I just found that he had such a command of just the energy around him. He would surround himself with characters, you know. It wasn't just all about the playing. It was about who the people are that hold the instrument and all of that. So I've learned that, you know, there's certainly people out there that play instruments better than others, but when you get with certain people and you can realize that you have this harmonious energy together, you recognize that you can't always just look at somebody's playing ability and to keep them, you know, it's just, I've had a lot of people who, like, well, for instance, with Pete Anderson, though, he would tell me I was going to play a show at the Chicago House in Austin for the Austin, whatever that thing is they do every year. It's some kind of folk, South by Southwest.
Yeah,
I
right.
went down there, I was going to play, and he said, what you need to do is go stand in front of the mirror and play your set. I had 6 or 7 songs that I was playing at the time, and he said, you just got to go and just really get comfortable with it and do it like you just know, you know, just know it. And so I did that every day. I followed his advice. I did that, and I played my set 2 or 3 times a day in front of a mirror, and by the time I went to do the show, I knew it so well, and I got a standing ovation. It was one of the most remarkable moments of my life, and realized that, once again, hard work and focus is everything with music. You know, you just have to know it to where you're not standing here tonight and being too nervous about thinking, oh, boy, whatever. But,
So, yeah, what were you looking at? I mean, not a smart aleck question, or a real question. What were you looking at in the mirror? Were you looking at sort of all aspects of you, your posture, how you presented facially, or were you essentially looking at your instrument?
I don't even know why he said the mirror. I don't know. I mean, I just look at my pretty face, you know. I mean,
Sure,
damn,
right,
dude,
all
you're
right.
good looking. But I don't know what. That's a good question. I don't know. I think that, I don't know. I think just standing there in front of it put some sort of pressure on it. I don't know if it wasn't like just walking around out in the yard or something. There was some stationary place I had to be. So, and I had to do it twice a day. And I think that seeing myself do it made me believe that I was doing it, because I was, and I saw myself doing it. So when I went out there to play that show, I guess I saw myself doing it. And I did it, and it was one of the biggest shows I've ever done in my life.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it
with
was
Neil,
great.
so with Neil, you learn a lot about how a functional versus dysfunctional band operates.
Well, he would
he's-
get all the dysfunctional people in his band. I mean,
Oh, yeah, really?
no, they're all great musicians,
Yeah,
but
of course.
you
Right,
had
right,
to
right.
you had to be a character to last with Neil. He
Okay,
was,
sure.
I think one of the
What-
things that you learn from Neil is more of on the recording side.
oh
is
yeah,
he's
got some great
probably,
recording chops.
A little different from some other artists maybe that you've worked with.
You mean his process?
His
Or
process
recording
of
process?
recording.
Oh yeah,
And I think just being true to the moment and trying to capture an entire song with a group of people, and not do too much to it after that. Let it be real and raw, and any kind of little minor mistakes or what, just, you know, if it's not like blaring, I think that he would probably go with
Yeah.
it. Is that correct? I mean, I'm
think
just,
I
you,
think
you would
if
know
it was
better
something
than me.
too bad, they had a way to get it fixed. But he was an energy guy.
Yeah, and then Stevie Winwood. So talk about a talented guy who plays a lot of different. I mean, amazing electric guitar player.
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
he does. Now that's one
Right.
thing that I was, you know, I got in with him at the end of back in the High Life tour and the Roll With It tour, and I just realized when I saw him play electric guitar, I was blown away at his just tasty feel for it. You know, because he's known for playing the organ and other things, but I guess he's known for that too. I mean, but to me, in my mind, I always just saw him behind the B3. But also Steve's just an incredibly brilliant person musically. He's the smartest guy I've ever met musically. He knows everything. He just he really knows a lot about music. But I can tell you a story. I was over there visiting with him at his home over there in the Cotswolds, and I was going to go on a vacation with him after our tour, and I was in my room, and I heard this noise one morning, and it was like, I was like, what in the world? So I looked out the window, and there was a Virgin, the balloon that had Virgin written on it. Yeah, and Richard Branson had landed his balloon in Steve's yard, and we were going to go for a balloon ride, and so we went for a balloon ride, and this was right when Richard Branson was going to balloon around the world, and so anyway, that was just kind of a neat story. But I don't know, Steve was a great person to hang with. He always loved to have a nice pint. You know, and I was the only guy in the band that wasn't on a 12-step program, so I got to be good friends with him. I'd go drink a pint or two with him, so it was fun.
Wow. Okay, well, before we leave the people you played with thing, Shocking Pinks. So, I think I saw you play with them.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and I think so at James Madison University, long time ago.
Love that band.
Do you remember me from that concert?
I do. Were you the one that threw the beer at me? I did get a beer.
I was the one who said to you, "Would you sign this?" And you cuffed me in the side of the head and said, "Get out of here!
Get out of here!" Nah, I wouldn't do that.
No.
The Shocking Pinks. Wow, that was a great band. Nobody knew it was Neil at the time when we first started doing it. There was no internet, or people didn't project what they saw out to the world, and everybody was aware of it. We would go out and play with Neil, and then we would take an intermission and then all go dress up in these 50s rock and roll suits, pink suits with black pants, and Neil came out with his hair slicked back in a white suit, and we would play rockabilly, and people did not know what to think. They would at first they were like, boo, or but by the time we finished with it, they loved the music, and then he quit doing it. They started loving it, and he quit.
Right. Well, he keeps
he keeps them on their toes.
So which gets to the next question I had, and I want you to jump in here too, Savana. Is like the importance of change for artists to grow, and we have seen so many folks on this program who have had lengthy careers, and so many who've had very short, abbreviated careers. And it seems the lengthiest careers come out of those folks who want to continue to embrace change. And I wonder if you might talk about that. You all have been in this business for a long time, and you've seen a lot. I wonder if you all could talk about some of the changes that you have seen and you've had to navigate during the last 4 decades in 30 seconds.
Well, I think when you're you're an accomplished musician, and I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about Anthony. I think that you really do you want to do different things because you get bored after a while of doing the same thing. And like I said, he's got so many songs and different genres. So we change mainly because he wants to change. I just go along with whatever he wants to do. I would prefer to just keep the same thing because I know how to do it, and he pushes me to change. But after I do it, I appreciate it, and I'm glad we did. So we've our whole Sugarcane Jane duo has morphed from many things. At one time I was playing the snare drum while Anthony played the kick drum, and I played the acoustic guitar for a little while. We were both playing guitar, and now the bass. So
30 seconds.
Next time we come over, I'm going to be playing the violin. I'm just
behind your back.
Behind my back. Yeah. Who knows?
One thing, if you go outside of what we're doing and then you look at what the world is like now over the last 2 or 3 decades, I can just say that it's not the same world to be able to present your music to people because little things make a big difference. Like whoever decided to quit putting CD players in cars killed an industry of CDs, because now it's all like online, digital, this, that, and the other. So for people like us who are out there trying to get our music out to people, you don't really have that avenue of having people come up and go, oh, I want to buy that CD. You have to have vinyl. and not everybody has a vinyl record player anymore. So it's an interesting process there, and we have found that what you do is you just play your music pretty much for free, and you go out and people buy a T-shirt or a hat or whatever, but the music is like the music is just something to get people interested in coming to see you and maybe pay a little attention to you financially, but you have to love it for what it is. You can't be out there at our level and think anything other than we're journeymen with this music.
Savana, while we're talking analog, why don't you tell folks, and this is for the guys upstairs and our other audience gearheads out there, could you talk some about the special studio that you were part of for a while anyway?
Well, the studio is very special to me because I actually met Anthony at the studio. But I was managing this analog recording studio in Westmead, and we were kind of known for certain gear. We had, a Trident 80B console board, and
I can hear the guys up there.
And a Studer tape machine. We had 6 UA pre's and just Telefunken mics. Bruce Coburn came for the Memory Moog keyboards that we had.
This is all vintage. It's not something you just call Sweetwater. This is the Universal Audio preamps were the ones with the big black knobs, and they were the beautiful old 610s from the 50s or whenever they came out.
How cool. So Bruce came there, and others would come there specifically to have a pop at some of this
for
equipment.
That gear. Yeah. Who knows what else they found there at the studio they loved. There was all these different rooms, and they all had there was the B3 and the Wurlitzer and the Rhodes and just all kinds of good stuff. Bruce stayed with us for like a week, and just he wanted to stay at the studio and have access 24/7 when he recorded. And have to say, he's the nicest guy. I love Bruce Coburn. He's so awesome.
Seems like a saint.
Oh man, he is a saint. And his voice and the music, I'm a fan.
And Canadian, imagine that.
I know it. I think he just got married too. I'm so happy for him.
Isn't he?
I think so.
Wow, isn't he like 80?
Yeah, well,
I mean, that's okay.
Hey, people are like having kids now at 80.
Oh.
The men, obviously,
Right. You all, this is so much fun, and there's more to talk about, and we'll have to do it the next time you come.
Sounds like a plan.
And this is great. I'm glad the music's not over. So let's play some more music.
Okay, let's do.
You want to try this one?
All right, welcome back, Sugarcane Jane.
All right, thank you so much. 1, 2. This is called The Fly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna take a miracle if it happens at all. So tell me, are you in, are you out, are you gonna stay, are you gonna walk to be a fly? To be a fly on the wall. You're gonna take a miracle to get you to talk. Say what I know, you've been thinking exactly what I thought. To be a fly, to be a fly on the wall. does it all. So tell me, are you in, are you out, are you gonna stay, or you gonna walk to be a fly? To be a fly on the wall, on the wall, on the wall, on the wall. All right. I know what we should do.
What's that?
Put it in your pocket.
Oh, I love this song.
Yeah. I had somebody give me some advice one time. I don't even recall what it was about, but I just
Went home and wrote this song.
went home and wrote this song. It was the
It's
strangest
just too
thing.
easy for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know,
Well,
not really. I haven't written a song in a long time, but here's this one called Put It in Your Pocket. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the days were long and times were tough, but I think I feel a little better. I can't tell you when it happened. I was on the phone talking to a friend. She said, you take away from here the very thing you need to know. You put it in your pocket, you get away from here, and you never look back. You let it help you. You let it help you. Well, I could tell I needed glasses when the doctor said you're going blind. And it's all between your ears, and you better open up your heart, 'cause I can see that you're dying. He said you take away from here the very thing you need to know. You put it in your pocket, you get away from here, and you never look back. You let it help you. You let it help you. Help you. Well, it was late into the afternoon when it fell apart and started to dissolve. And from all the good and free advice I received, I was ready to resolve to take away from here the very thing I need to know, and put it in my pocket to get away from here and never look back. I let it help me. You let it help you. I help you out. Well, the days were long and times were tough, but I think I feel a little better. I can't tell you when it happened. I was on the phone talking to a friend. She said, you take away from here the very thing you need to know. You put it in your pocket, you get away from here, and you never look back. You let it help you. You let it help you. You let it help you. Help you out. Let's see, what's next on our little list here? Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell you what, I'm going to start playing with readers on.
I know. Well, that might be a good thing to do. Once you turn 40 and all, you know.
I know. As soon as that does happen,
that's
I'm going to
when
do
they
it.
go.
Yeah, I'm going to take a little sip here.
So I've heard. Right?
Before I go into your house, I think I'll stay outside and think it out. I know there's a storm, possibly. I've been here before and I've seen it happen to me. If you're just not finding out what you like, better late than never. Take a day, spend it away, and I'll see you around whenever. Questions asked through the looking glass, and if you can live with what you see, give me the plan of a patient man, and I'll try to make it look like me, yeah. I hope I find the strength to be able to put myself in neutral with you. I know I can think everything in the world of myself, but when I get in front of you, I hope that I melt, and I want to throw away all these feelings that come from the darker side of me that I don't like myself.
No way.
I'm hoping that you will see we need to be vulnerable. All that we were before doesn't matter anything right now. But if you're just not finding out what you like, better late than never. Take a day, spin it away, and I'll see you around whenever. Questions asked through the looking glass, and if you live with what you see, give me the plan of a patient man, and I'll try to make it look like me, yeah. There's a lot to learn about nothing. There's a lot to learn about you. If you just start finding out what you like, better late than never. Take a day, spin it away, and I'll see you around whenever. Questions asked through the looking glass, and if you live with what you see, give me the plan of a patient man, and I'll try to make it look like me, yeah. It's a good day for turning pages. I could use a little bit of inspiration myself. I'd like to read into your heart, baby. That last chapter was a little bit rough on me. You got your reason, your rhyme, and your method to your madness. And if you could only write it down in big, big letters, please. My side is failing, at least that's what you tell me. I'm blind as a bat on the bottom of a submarine. My ears are aching with anticipation, desperation just to hear your voice. To me, you're just like music, but to you, I'm just noise. If you just start finding out what you like, better late than never. Take a day, spin it away, and I'll see you around whenever. Questions asked through the looking glass, and if you live with what you see, give me the plan of a patient man, and I'll try to make it look like me. Try to make it look like me, yeah. I'll try to make it look like me, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Before I go into your house, I think I'll stay outside and think it out. I know there's a storm, possibly. I've been here before and I've seen it happen to me. Now, if you just not finding out what you like, better late than never. Take a day, spin it away, and I'll see you around whenever. Questions asked, if you look in glass, and you can live with what you see. Give me the plan of a patient man, and I'll try to make it look like me. Try to make it look like me, yeah. Try to make it look like me, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right. Well, there are so many people to thank for our program. First, Sugarcane Jane and Lolly Lee, our guest tonight. We want to thank all of you for listening to our webcast, watching us on social media, and those listening to us on the network of Red Barn stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn's premier radio partner, Central and Eastern Kentucky's radio news leader. You can listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, you got to be sure to check out Red Barn TV. It's our weekly program of music now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and our program in a spiffy little newsletter. Check in to the website and follow the simple instructions to subscribe. And now, before we close out tonight's program, let's bring back for one more tune, Sugarcane Jane.
Thank you so much. Savana Lee over here. I'm Anthony Crawford, and we're going to do this last song for you.
So many people have lost loved ones over the last few years especially, but this song is for them. And to me, this song is what happens when we cross to the other side. At least I hope so. It's called Silver Stars.
I was flying in my dreams last night among the silver stars, and I felt my heart turn to gold, though I never heard a sound. Spirits fill the city, though never spoke a word, and love was universal, as graceful as the dove. I was flying in my dreams last night among the silver stars, and I felt my heart turn to gold, though I never heard a sound. I live to meet an angel, just a brush against my face. I felt the souls of a million as they welcomed me to the place. I was flying in my dreams last night among the silver stars, and I felt my heart
Sugarcane Jane. Well, that's all for our show for this week. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on the web on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. You can also listen to archive performances on Patreon, Spotify, iTunes, and all the popular and, of course, trendiest listening platforms out there. Whatever your touch points with Red Barn Radio might be, please remember that every like, comment, share, and subscribe helps bring roots music Southern style to your neck of the woods. Now, from all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, keep working together to be safe and healthy. And until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.